Good afternoon, happy Friday, everyone at St. Charles, second grade, and anybody else who's watching this video. Please enjoy. We've talked a lot about sometimes we're afraid of things. Sometimes we feel that there's a lot of things to be that kind of upset us. But today, I thought we could read The Dark by Lemony Snicket, illustrated by John Clausen. And I think you'll see some interesting ideas in this book. The Dark. Laszlo was afraid of the dark. The Dark lived in the same house as Laszlo, a big place with a creaky roof, smooth, cold windows, and several sets of stairs. Sometimes the Dark hid in the closet. Sometimes it sat behind the shower curtain. But mostly it spent its time in the basement. All day long, the Dark would wait in a distant corner, far from the squeaks and rattles of the washing machine, pressed up against some old damp boxes and a chest of drawers that nobody ever opened. At night, of course, the Dark went out and spread itself against the windows and the doors of Laszlo's house. But in the morning, the Dark would be back in the basement, where it belonged. Laszlo would peek at the Dark every morning. "Hi," he would say. "Hi, Dark." Laszlo thought that if he visited the Dark in the Dark's room, maybe the Dark wouldn't come visit him in his room. But one night, it did. "Laszlo," the Dark said, in the dark. The voice of the Dark was as creaky as the roof of the house, and as smooth and as cold as the windows. And even though the Dark was right next to Laszlo, the voice seemed very far away. "What do you want?" asked Laszlo. "I want to show you something," said the Dark. "In here?" "No," said the Dark. "Here?" "No, no," said the Dark. "Downstairs." "Downstairs?" "Yes," said the Dark. In Laszlo's living room was the biggest window in the house. Laszlo looked out at all the dark outside. Above him, the roof creaked, and he closed his eyes. Now the dark was all Laszlo could see. "No, no," said the dark again. "Not there. Down here." "In the basement?" asked Laszlo. "Yes," said the dark. Laszlo had never dared to come to the dark's room at night. "Come closer," said the dark. Laszlo came closer. "Even closer," said the dark. "You might be afraid of the dark, but the dark is not afraid of you. That's why the dark is always close by. The dark peeks around the corner and waits behind the door. You can see the dark up in the sky almost every night, gazing down at you as you gaze up at the stars. Without a creaky roof, the rain would fall on your bed, and without smooth, cold windows, you could never see outside. And without a set of stairs, you could never go into the basement, where the dark spends its time. Without a closet, you would have nowhere to put your shoes. And without a shower curtain, you would splash water all over the bathroom. And without the dark, everything would be light, and you would never know if you needed a light bulb." "Bottom drawer," said the dark. "What?" "Bottom drawer. Open the bottom drawer." "Thank you," said Laszlo. "You're welcome," said the dark. By the time Laszlo got back into the bed, the dark was no longer in his room, except when he closed his eyes to go to sleep. The next morning, Laszlo visited the dark in the basement. "Hi," he said. "Hi, dark." The dark didn't answer, but the bottom drawer was still open, so it looked like something in the corner was smiling. The dark kept on living with Laszlo, but it never bothered him again. The dark. All right. Some of us have things that we're afraid of. Second graders and people who used to be second graders all know that Mr. Holman has kind of a fear of heights. That's why you don't see him climbing up on the roof. But that's okay. That is all right. Now, sometimes I do things like I'll walk up to the edge of a railing, and try to look over at something to see, like in the park or something, I will try to challenge the heights and try to overcome it. I probably never will be completely over it, but that's okay. We're all afraid of a few things, but if we are careful and we listen to what people say, our elders and our teachers say, then we'll know what is the best way to handle any fear. Are you afraid of bees? Well, don't do something that angers the bees. That's just leave them alone and they will leave you alone. Are you afraid of the dark? That's okay. But there's really nothing in the dark that isn't there during the day. Are you afraid of water? Well, you could learn to swim, or you could just enjoy shallow water, maybe wading out, till it's only up to your knees or something. Being afraid of something isn't bad. How we handle it, well, that makes a little bit of a difference. We could do something crazy and go running around screaming, waving our arms like, ah, it's going to get me. Most of the time, that's not going to help. Or we could try to breathe, react calmly. If it's something that could be dangerous, move away from it. Accept the fact that being afraid of it isn't bad. Just how we act when we are afraid is sometimes puts us in more trouble than other times. So just be careful how you react. Second grade. I know what you think. I'm gonna ask you to write in your big notebook, and yes, I am. So today I want you to answer this question. What is something you're afraid of, and what is the best way to act when you're around it? Again, Mr. Holman has a fear of heights. So I don't go to places where it's easy to fall off. I stick to places that have handrails, that have an edge. That way I can still try to enjoy the view without being afraid I'm going to tumble off the edge and hurt myself. I do avoid the heights, but at the same time, sometimes I like to challenge myself once in a while. I've been in an airplane a couple of times. It's not my favorite thing, but I've tried it. So, talk to me about how you act and what maybe something that you are afraid of. And if you're not afraid of anything, that's okay. There are very brave people in this world. But I'm just here to let you know that those who are afraid of things are still pretty brave. So, have a good weekend. I'll be back on Monday for some more stories. Now, next week, we're going to be picking up those big notebooks and some of the other stuff that you've been working on so that I can start working on your report card, so that make sure you have been working on your homework packets and make sure that you have been writing your answers to the questions, okay? All right. Enjoy your weekend. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Be brave. Be careful.